proceed.
This is a story of a penguin named Penta.
In 1984, the MSX standard was released into the world market. This standard hoped to capture the market created by Spectrum and Commodore 64 for computer systems. However, this system as a gaming system was missing an important part, a mascot character that would represent the heart and soul of the system.
Konami recognized this and decided to set about making that game that would provide the mascot character for the new system. Enter Antarctic Adventure. The game they hoped that would provide that killer app for their new system. It came and launched with an incredible thud. The game starts with an overworld map detailing your status in terms of levels in the game. Now this is Antarctic Adventure, the story of a penguin who runs around the South Pole to do something. There's no story to this game, none whatsoever. They don't even tell you that you're trying to get the magical fish or get any sort of powers or abilities at the end. It's just running around the South Pole for fun. In this game, we can see that the main purpose of the character is to run from the beginning of the level to the end of it, before the timer runs out. There's not much in the way of obstacles other than these potholes and the walruses that pop out of them.
You collect fish to get more points, and you collect green flags that help decrease the time you have left in order to make it in time to the end of the level.
And that's basically it. The entire game is just this over and over and over again, with just collecting fish and running and avoiding those goddamn walruses. There's nothing to this game. The background is always the same throughout the entire game other than the curve you see right now, and the music is always Waltz of the Skaters. There are no power-ups or no anything. The only thing you can adjust is the speed level you're going at, but even at the top speed it feels like you're slower than a dead turtle. Actually, scratch that. The level does change somewhat. The sky color turns to red in some levels, but after playing 10 levels of the exact same thing over and over, you get sort of tired of this crap. At the end of each level, you reach a hut that raises the American flag in victory. Although this was made by Japanese, but I'm not going to question their purposes. The character sprite is incredibly ugly and looks like he was beat up with several rusty sticks. And that's basically it. There's no ending to the game, there's nothing, no story, no anything. You just basically restart the game all over again except with a harder difficulty. Needless to say, this game was incredibly boring and was nowhere near the rousing success that Konami was looking for. So in order to garner sales, they released this game on several other platforms like the Famicom and other systems. Konami, however, didn't give up on the franchise and decided to set about make a sequel, so they gathered up some new talents, and in 1986, Penguin Adventure was released. This game was worlds better than its predecessor. And by better, I mean like from Earth to freaking Andromeda better. Needless to say, this game was a massive hit and propelled the character into becoming the official mascot of Konami throughout the 80s. What makes this game so good? Let's find out together, shall we? From the first screen, you can already get a sense of the quality and the storyline behind the game. Basically, you're Penta the penguin, and your mission is to run across the world to a tree that has a fruit that can rescue your girlfriend, Penko, from a mysterious disease she's fallen under.
In the English version of the game, her name is Princess Penguin. That's right, she's a princess, which gives another bit of an incentive to save her life. The first thing you notice while playing this game is the big difference in terms of graphics and level design. There's a big variety of different sorts of levels you can go through in this game. You have this forest level, you have ice forest levels, you have icicle levels, you have overwater levels, you have underwater levels, you have cave levels, you have canyon levels. There's even a bonus level that takes you to space. What more could you possibly ask for in a game? There is a huge and marked improvement in the way the game is played in general. Now, the goal is still to get your character from the beginning of the level to the end of it before the timer runs out. But in this time, there's an added button to the game. Before, you had the directional buttons at the spacebar to control your character. But this game adds a button M, which you can use items in. That's right, items. In this game, the fish have an actual purpose. That is, that if you collect enough fish, you can go into these little holes on the ground that are found in each level, and you can go into a store in which you can buy items in. Some examples of these items include shoes that increases your speed limit, a hat that makes your jump longer, a gun that makes you shoot a gun obviously, and a ring-a-ding which I don't know what it does, and a feather that increases the length of your jump. Other items include armor and fire rods and such and so forth. In each store you're gonna find a slot machine in which you can bet any amount of fish you have, and chances are if you're lucky you'll get double or triple or quadruple that amount. It's always useful to use the slot machines, and it adds a nice little distraction on the side while shopping for items. And believe me, you're gonna need every single one of those items, cause with the addition of items comes the addition of enemies. Oodles and oodles of enemies. All sorts, from bats to balls to fireballs to clouds that want to kill you to the blocks to everything. It's as if the heavens themselves are after you. And every 3 levels there's a dragon boss that you have to fight and defeat if you want to continue on with the game. This adds a greater amount of challenge and a greater amount of use for the items that you purchase, and a greater incentive to collect more fish. But to also help you are hearts in the game. Now these hearts change color, and each color has a different corresponding purpose. The blue one gives you the ability to fly on top of a cloud, thus giving you more of a leverage over obstacles. The yellow ones turn you into an unstoppable killing machine that can break through obstacles and kill enemies. The green one gives you more time, and the purple one I have yet to figure out. The music in this game is fantastic, and it's right up there with some of the best game music I have ever heard come out of an 8-bit system. And in fact, I think that if the MSX had been more successful in the United States and Europe, this game would have been memorized as one of the best video game musics ever made. It's that good, and I think anybody, any gamer, should give it a listen. It's the little bits and pieces of this game that give it its unique personality. There are little animations, little character dances, all sorts of little things that gives you more of a connection to the character itself. Overall, this game is brilliant. It has a good amount of challenge in it, but there will be times when you'll go like... But one thing kept going on through my mind. What was it that made this game so absolutely brilliant as compared to its predecessor, which was a piece of turd? I did some research and I discovered that one of the people who made this game was in fact... I'm not gonna tell you, you'll just have to wait after the credits so you can find out. Well, what next happened for our good friend Penta? Well, after the success of Penguin Adventure, Konami put him sort of on hold for 5 years. He made cameo appearances on several MSX software, but didn't have a sequel until 1991, when he starred in a sequel on the Nintendo Entertainment System that was released only in Japan. So this game is a little weird, so I'll review it later and tell you all about it. Penta also went on to star in the Parodius games for a game or two. But afterwards, after a sequel in 1991, he settled down and had a son, Pentaru. Yep, Pentaru was a leader of a mercenary organization and deals in weaponry. He was also replaced Penta in the game Parodius games, which went on until around 1998 or 1999. Overall, Penta was a great character, and anybody who ever had an MSX would know him straight up if you asked him. And even though he didn't last through the 80s, he'll live through my memory and the memory of any other person who's ever had an MSX, probably forever. This is Alsok, reporting out. Goodbye. Oh, and don't forget there's a secret after the credits.
The management would like to thank you for your involvement in this game. Indeed, your involvement was so vital and so central and so secret we didn't even put you in the credits.
The management has also come to recognize your special abilities, and we decided to promote you, to put you in charge of developing a new game series that would revolutionize everything. So congratulations, employee number 976. Or should I say, Hideo Kojima?